You thought I wanted revenge. You thought I wanted to claw my way back just to spill blood in the same mud you buried me in. You thought I wanted your downfall. But listen carefully. You were wrong. Revenge is for the wounded, for the ones who never healed, for the broken men who spend their lives chasing ghosts, trying to bleed others the way they were bled. That's not me. I don't want revenge. I want something greater. I want something eternal. I want the throne. I want the crown. Revenge is a fire that burns quick and dies fast. The crown is the fire that burns forever. Revenge makes you a murderer. The crown makes you a king. You thought I was crawling in the dirt, sharpening knives in silence, waiting for the right moment to cut your throat. But you miscalculated. You don't understand the difference between a man who wants to kill and a man who wants to reign. Killing you is too small. Breaking you is too easy. Destroying you is too temporary. No. What I want is to build an empire so vast, so untouchable, that your name rots in obscurity, while mine is carved into eternity. That is the difference. That is why I am still here. Revenge is personal. The crown is universal. Revenge ends with one man's ruin. The crown begins with a kingdom's birth. And I did not rise to settle scores. I rose to write prophecy. You see, revenge is still about you. It's still about the betrayer, the villain, the shadow in my story. But the crown is about me. It's about who I become, what I create, what I rule when the ashes of your betrayal are nothing but dust beneath my boot. For revenge, kings fight for the crown. Kings fight for the kingdom. Kings fight for the legacy that outlives them. So while you were celebrating, thinking you had broken me, I was becoming something more, something beyond pain, something beyond rage, something beyond you. I was becoming inevitable. And now here I stand, no longer crawling, no longer begging, no longer bleeding. I am not the man you betrayed. I am not the ghost you left behind. I am the crown bearer. I am the throne taker. I am the storm you created, and the silence that will bury you. Do you hear it? The silence of your name disappearing. The silence of your power crumbling. The silence of a new empire rising from your ashes. That silence belongs to me. That crown belongs to me. And when I wear it, when I sit on the throne forged from my pain and sharpened by your betrayal, you will finally understand. I am not here for revenge. I am here for the crown. You thought betrayal would finish me. You thought cutting me down would silence me forever. You thought the knife you pressed into my back was the end of my story. But you were blind. Betrayal isn't the end. Betrayal is the beginning. Betrayal is the fire that lights the throne room. And you were only the spark. I remember it clearly. The night your smile turned into a dagger. The moment your hand, once trusted, became the hand that shoved me into the pit. It wasn't strangers who tried to end me. It was you. It's always the ones closest, the ones you fed, the ones you trusted, the ones who swore loyalty with their tongue and treachery with their heart. That's the cruelty of betrayal. It doesn't come from enemies at the gate. It comes from the brother beside you. It comes from the friend who said forever. It comes from the lover who swore always. It comes from those who swore to fight with you, but instead chose to bleed you. And when that blade sunk in, when your laughter turned to silence, I thought for a moment it might be the end. I thought maybe the darkness had won. But the truth revealed itself. The trail isn't a coffin. It's a forge. It's not the dirt that buries you. It's the fire that crowns you. You thought you destroyed me. No. You built me. You didn't end my story. You wrote the first chapter of a king. The trail is not weakness. It is revelation. It shows you who never deserved to sit at your table. It burns away the false friends, the false lovers, the false allies, until only truth remains. Painful truth, bloody truth, but truth nonetheless. And I took that truth, and I bled with it. Noise of loyalty. It teaches you who remains when the false ones leave. It teaches you to be a king, because kings stand alone before they ever sit on a throne. And you thought betrayal was your victory. But betrayal was your mistake. Because now, you're irrelevant. Now, your laughter is dust. Now, your name is ash. Your betrayal gave me something greater than revenge. It gave me the fire to rise. It gave me the silence to plan. It gave me the rage to endure. It gave me the crown. And for that, I should thank you. But I won't. Because kings don't thank betrayers. Kings don't bow to those who tried to cut them down. Kings don't look back at the sparks that lit the fire. They only look forward to the flames that built the throne. So remember this. Every time you thought you were ending me, you were building me. Every time you thought you were silencing me, you were crowning me. Every time you thought you were laughing at me, you were kneeling before a king who hadn't yet risen. Betrayal isn't the end. Betrayal is the beginning. Betrayal is the fire that lit my throne room. And soon, you'll see what burns in its light. Pain. That was your gift to me. Not love. Not loyalty. Not brotherhood. Pain. When the knives were pulled from my back, when the laughter of your betrayal echoed into silence, there was nothing left but pain. The kind of pain that doesn't scream, it suffocates. The kind of pain that doesn't end, it lingers. The kind of pain that doesn't beg, it buries you alive. I lay there, not in ruins of stone, but in ruins of self. The ruins of identity. The ruins of trust. The ruins of everything I thought was eternal. And yet, in that silence, in that crushing void, I found something. I found the throne. Because pain is not the end. Pain is the throne room where kings are born. And I learned to sit in that darkness. I learned to breathe in that silence. I learned to wear pain, not as a chain, but as a crown. You thought pain would finish me. You thought I would drown in it, bleed in it, choke on it. But pain did not kill me. Pain crowned me. Do you know what pain does to a man? It strips him bare. It takes away the illusions, the comforts, the softness. It leaves you alone with the truth. And the truth is sharp. The truth is cold. The truth is merciless. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to heal you. No one is coming to lift you from the ashes. The throne is carved alone. The crown is forged in solitude. So I sat there, in the silence you left me in. I sat there with my broken bones, my shattered trust, my bleeding soul. And the silence spoke.
Throne room.
And when I sit there, alone in the dark, the crown heavy on my head, I remember this: kings are not made in comfort. Kings are not made in laughter. Kings are not made in loyalty. Kings are made in pain. Kings are made in silence. Kings are made in betrayal's fire and solitude's echo. So I thank you in the quietest way possible, not with words, not with gratitude, but with silence. Because silence is the proof that I have no need for revenge. Silence is the proof that I already won. And when I rise from this throne room of shadows, carrying pain as my crown and silence as my weapon, you will understand. You never broke me. You crowned me. You thought my silence was defeat. You thought my silence was surrender. You thought my silence meant you had won. But you were wrong. Silence is not the language of the broken. Silence is the language of kings. Silence is where power lives. Silence is where thrones are forged. You expected rage. You expected screams. You expected me to claw, to cry, to collapse beneath the weight of your betrayal. But I gave you nothing. No response. No word. No reaction. Just silence. And that silence was louder than anything you could ever scream. Because kings do not shout to be heard. Kings let silence speak for them. The loudest voice in the room is never the ruler. The true ruler sits back, watches, waits. And when he finally speaks, his words shake the walls of kingdoms. I learned that in the quiet you left me in. I learned that silence is sharper than a sword. Silence is heavier than a crown. Silence is darker than betrayal. Do you know what silence does? It unsettles. It terrifies. It makes the betrayer tremble. Because they do not know what is coming. Noise can be measured. Noise can be answered. But silence? Silence is endless. Silence is unpredictable. Silence is death waiting in the dark. And I mastered it. I let silence teach me patience. I let silence teach me discipline. I let silence become the throne I sat upon while the rest of the world screamed in chaos. You see, silence is not absence. It is presence. It is the presence of control, the presence of power, the presence. I never needed to beg. I only needed silence. The silence you mistook for weakness was my strength. The silence you mistook for absence was my empire. The silence you mistook for defeat was my victory. So listen carefully. One last time. Before the silence swallows your name forever. A man who shouts may want revenge, but a man who stays silent, he doesn't want revenge. He wants the crown. You thought I would stay down. You thought silence meant death. You thought ashes were a grave. But ashes are not the end. Ashes are the beginning. Ashes are the soil where kings are born. From the ruins you left me in, I rose. Not quickly, not loudly, not desperately. I rose with patience. I rose with discipline. I rose with fire. Every scar became armor. Every tear became steel. Every drop of blood became ink, writing the prophecy of my return. You thought I would rise to chase you, but I did not rise for you. I rose for the crown. I rose for the throne. I rose for the kingdom that waits beyond the wreckage of betrayal. I did not rise for revenge. I rose for reign. Because revenge is a sprint. But the crown is a marathon. The crown is earned in silence, built in shadows, sharpened in the grind no one else sees. You want to know how I rose? I bled for it. I sweated for it. I burned for it. I walked through the fire you set for me, and I carried the flames with me. The gym became my battlefield. The weights became my weapons. Every rep was war. Every set was blood. Every drop of sweat was proof that pain had been converted into power. While you drank, I trained. While you slept, I rose. While you mocked, I built. And each morning, when the sun rose, I was already awake, forged in silence, forged in fire, Forged in the ashes you left me to rot in. But kings do not rot. Kings rise. You see, rot no longer begging. I stand as the king forged from betrayal, built in silence, crowned in pain. You wanted me to stay buried, but ashes don't bury kings. Ashes crown them. So when I rise, when I finally sit upon the throne, remember this. It wasn't your betrayal that destroyed me. It was your betrayal that built me. You thought I was finished, but the rise is eternal. The rise is unstoppable. The rise is prophecy. And I am the prophecy you tried to kill. I am the fire you tried to drown. I am the silence you tried to bury. I am the king rising from ashes. Every step I take now echoes through eternity. Every scar I carry shines like a jewel. Every silence I held becomes thunder. Because kings are not born in light. Kings are born in fire. Kings are born in betrayal. Kings are born in ashes. And I rose from the ashes not to destroy you. I rose from the ashes to rule everything you swore I would never touch. You see, revenge looks backward. The crown looks forward. And I am done looking back. The rise has begun. The throne is near. The crown is mine. You thought I wanted revenge. You thought I wanted your blood. You thought I wanted your downfall. But revenge is too small. Revenge is fleeting. Revenge is the hunger of men who dream too little. I want something greater. I want something eternal. I want the crown. Do you understand the difference? Revenge ends when you fall. The crown begins when I rise. Revenge is about pain. The crown is about power. Revenge dies in a moment. The crown reigns for generations. And I do not waste my scars on moments. I turn them into empires. You see, revenge is still about you. It's still chained to your name, your betrayal, your existence. But the crown erases you. The crown makes your betrayal irrelevant. The crown leaves you in the dirt, while I sit on the throne you swore I would never touch. That is why I rose. That is why I bled. That is why I carried pain as a crown and silence as a weapon. Because I do not want revenge. I want the throne. I want the power that does not end when your name disappears. I want the kingdom that rises where your laughter fell silent. And when I wear it, when the crown rests heavy on my head, there will be no memory of you. Because revenge remembers. The crown forgets. I will not remember your betrayal. I will not remember your laughter. I will not remember your dagger. I will remember only the throne. I will remember only the kingdom. I will remember only the silence that crowned me. The crown is heavier than you can imagine. It is not gold. It is blood. It is not jewels. It is scars. It is not polished. It is forged in man broken by betrayal. You created a king. And when I sit on the throne, when the crown burns on my head like fire, I will not waste time looking down at you. Because kings do not bow to the ashes. Kings do not kneel to the past. Kings look forward, building empires beyond memory, beyond betrayal, beyond pain. That is why I win. Not because I took revenge, but because I took the crown. The crown is not just power. The crown is silence that no betrayal can break. The crown is dominance that no revenge can equal. The crown is the throne that stands when everything else burns. And I will wear it. I will sit upon it. I will reign with it. You cannot stop me. You cannot touch me. Because revenge is human. But the crown is godlike. And I am no longer just a man. I am the storm. I am the silence. I am the king. You thought I wanted revenge. You thought I wanted your ruin. You thought I wanted to crawl back just to bleed you the way you bled me. But no. I wanted more. I wanted everything. I wanted the crown. And now, I have it. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? Do you see what I have become? This is not the voice of a man broken. This is not the voice of a victim. This is not the voice of someone still chained to your betrayal. This is the voice of a king. Look at me now. Your betrayal forged me. Your silence sharpened me. Your laughter became the music of my rise. And I stand here, crowned, unbroken, eternal. You thought revenge would satisfy me. But revenge is too small, too fleeting, too weak. I don't want your pain. I don't want your tears. I don't want your ruin. I want your silence. I want your irrelevance. I want your memory erased beneath the weight of my reign. You thought this was about you. But kings don't rise for enemies. Kings don't rise for revenge. Kings rise for the throne. Kings rise for the crown. Kings rise for the empire, and I have risen. Every scar, my jewel. Every wound, my weapon. Every silence, my prophecy. Do you see it now? Do you feel the weight of what you created? You didn't just betray me, you birthed me. You didn't just break me, you crowned me. You didn't just try to bury me, you built my throne, and now I sit upon it. I reign from it. I breathe from it. This is my declaration. This is my kingdom. This is my crown, endures forever. That is the cruelest vengeance. And it isn't even vengeance. It is destiny. It is prophecy. It is the crown. So let the world hear it. Let the stars burn it. Let the silence carry it across eternity. I don't want revenge. I want the crown. And now, I wear it. It ends here. Not with revenge. Not with blood spilled in the dirt. Not with screams echoing in the night. It ends with silence. It ends with a crown. It ends with a throne, forged in betrayal, raised in pain, carried through fire, and seated in domination. You thought this story was about you. You thought my rise was chained to your downfall. But you never understood. You were only the spark. I was always the fire. Revenge dies quickly. Revenge burns bright and then fades to ash. But the crown endures. The crown lasts. The crown does not scream. It does not rage. It reigns. And that is what I have become. Not a man chasing revenge. Not a shadow clawing at the past. But a king. A ruler. A crown bearer whose silence weighs heavier than any scream you could ever muster. Understand this. Your betrayal does not echo anymore. Your laughter is not remembered. Your name has no power here. Only my crown speaks now. Only my reign continues. Only my legacy remains. This is the final cruelty. Revenge would have kept you alive in my story. But the crown erases you. You don't get the honor of being remembered as an enemy. You don't even get the dignity of being the villain. You get nothing. You get silence. You get erasure. While I sit on the throne, your name will fade. While I reign, your story will vanish. While my crown shines, your memory will rot. And that is the difference between revenge and the crown. Revenge makes you matter. The crown makes you irrelevant. I did not rise for you. I did not fight for you. I did not bleed for you.